We see Dr. Tae talking to another doctor. Dr. Tae says you have to be careful that Dr. Kyung-ju and no one outside the operating room knows about this because today's testing is very confidential. The other doctor says, should we not tell Legan what this test is? Dr. Tae says his family members have already signed the consent paper, so there is no need to tell him. If anything happens, I will take responsibility. You guys, don't worry. The second doctor says, if our superior comes to know about this. Dr. Tae interrupts saying, I have already talked to him and he is the one who has asked to do this test. Then we are shown the scene from some time ago when Dr. Tae was talking to the director. The director said, you are also planning to include the name of the neurosurgery department in the bad memory erasure research so that both psychiatric and neurosurgery departments work together on this research. You are not wrong. Our neurosurgery department should also get more credit. So, go ahead with it. When Legan is going to his room, a nurse comes to him and brings him to the operating room. Legan meets the doctor and asks, when will Dr. Kyung-ju come? The doctor says, we had informed her, but she cannot come due to some important work. Legan gets a little sad and starts thinking that Kanju has given up her time to spend with Dr. Tae. Legan is made unconscious by giving anesthesia before testing, but before becoming unconscious he sees Dr. Tae in the same operating room, which makes him think if Dr. Tae is here, then what is important to Kanju? The task is that when Lee Gun becomes unconscious, testing is started on him. At the same time, we see Kanju in the small meeting room. She has decorated the entire room very well so that when Dr. Tae comes there, she will propose to him. Kanju calls him and Dr. Tae, having finished testing on Legan, tells her that he is arriving. Kanju starts waiting for Dr. Tae, and just then Dr. Tae passes by the same room, which makes her wonder why he didn't come inside and where he is going. So she comes out and follows him. She sees Dr. Tae with Dr. Yu, and from their conversation, Kanju realizes that he is secretly dating Dr. Yu. Dr. Tae tells his girlfriend that he will come through the small meeting room, say hi to Kanju, and also take his jacket there. Hearing this, Kanju quickly reaches that room and prepares all the decorations. Dr. Tae is about to come in, and Kanju locks the door, but Dr. Tae knows the password, so he unlocks the door. However, his girlfriend gets angry and starts leaving, so Dr. Tae does not go inside and leaves from there with his girlfriend. Kanju narrowly escapes what could have been the biggest embarrassment of her life. Thinking about this, Kanju feels very sad realizing Dr. Tae likes someone else. Then Legan comes there and seeing the condition of the room understands everything. He says, why are you so stupid? Go and talk to him, and if you feel like it, you can even slap him hard. Kanju replies, there is no fault of the doctor in this, it was only me who had misunderstood. I am very angry at myself and also very frustrated because I cannot even cry.
I already told you that whenever I cry, I start falling asleep. So Lingen says, you are fooling yourself. You are a psychic, but you are not feelingless. Hearing this, Kyung-ju says, do you want to know how I feel right now? Worrying about me. Stop, I feel this way about you. Then Lingen says, will you stop pretending to be tough? Kanju says, you stop following me. So Lingen says, if I stop following you, then will you stop pretending to be tough? Will you leave? Kanju says yes, then Lingen leaves from them. After work, when Kanju's going home, she starts crying while sitting on the way. Lee Sun is going to the hospital to meet Lingen, so he sees her and comes closer. Lee Sun doesn't like seeing her crying and asks if she is okay. While Dr. Tate is sitting in the car with his girlfriend, Lee Sun takes her out and holds her by the collar, saying angrily, the thing that is mine can be taken away some other time. Don't touch it, otherwise the consequences will be very bad. Kanju is sitting in Lee Sun's car and Lee Sun brings coffee for her. Kanju finds a bracelet in the car, so she gives it to Lee Sun so that she can understand. It turns out that Sayan was not lying to her. After talking to Lee Sun, Kanju starts feeling a little better. Kanju thanks him for today and goes home.
Then we see Listen at home. She is with Kanju. He is thinking about it and is feeling very happy. The next day, we see Kanju in the hospital. She asks the nurse, are all my appointments for today over? The nurse says, yes, there are no appointments today anyway. You are doing something right. You don't look like you are sick. Kanju says, no, I am absolutely fine. At the same time, Dr. Yu comes to work. Kanju sees that she is wearing a gold necklace with an eye-shaped pendant. Dr. Yu came to work late today, but Kanju doesn't say anything to her and goes away. After some time, the nurse comes and tells Kanju that there is a problem, and she starts telling her about Lagan. The hospital director, Professor Han, and Dr. Tay are angry at him. He says, "How did you guys discharge Lagan despite knowing that we have to observe his condition for 3 months?" Professor Han says, "His parents have signed the consent, but we cannot tell the truth to Lagan. Why would he have to stay in the hospital for a month when he is completely fine?" Then Dr. Tay says, "I think there was a fight between Kanju and Lagan, due to which perhaps Lagan got discharged and went away." Professor Han is quite surprised, wondering why Dr. Tay is saying this. Professor Han says, "I will talk to his family and try to convince them." The director says, "If they don't agree, then what will you do? It's all Jinju's fault, so remove him from the research team." Hearing this, the professor is shocked and says, "How can we remove him? He was the one who started this research." The director places a file in front of him and says, "These are the test results of the test done on Lagan by the neurosurgery department." Professor Han says, "Are you telling me you did tests on Lagan without informing me?" They understand that Dr. Tay knew everything because he is associated with the director. The director says, "Whenever Lee Gun is with Kanju, his test results are inconsistent. This will have to be removed from Lagan's case, and this research should be handed over to the neurosurgery department." Hearing this, Professor Han is quite shocked. When Lagan opens his own agency, all his family members support him. Let's congratulate him. In the next scene, we see Kanju, who comes to meet Dr. Tai in a restaurant. Dr. Tai says, "You are looking very beautiful today. I could not come to meet you that day, sorry for that. I was very busy." Hearing this, Kyung-ju says, "What did you say? You were busy?" She angrily hits the water in the glass on his face and says, "Do you lie whenever you open your mouth? But in reality, all this is Kanju's imagination." Kanju says, "Stop talking here and there and come straight to the point." Dr. Tai says, "See, the thing is that Ligon has now been discharged from the hospital, so it is very important for you to observe his behavior and condition. It will be difficult, due to which this research can be suspended. That is why the director and I want you to hand over this research to the neurosurgery department. We will try our best to save this research and make it successful." Kanju gets very angry after hearing his words, but controls herself. When Kanju comes home very sad, her mom asks her what's going on, but she doesn't tell her mom. When her nephew comes, she starts playing with him and he holds her head. This reminds Kanju that in the parking lot, Ligon held her head and didn't let her turn. She understands that Ligon knew that Kanju is Dr. Tai's girlfriend. She keeps all the important research documents in a suitcase and comes to the hospital to give them to Dr. Tai. She goes to Dr. Tai's office, but he isn't there. Kanju finds a file there from which she learns that Dr. Tai had done some tests on Ligon. At the same time, Dr. Tai comes in and she starts asking him why he did this. "Why did you do it? And did you tell Ligon and his family about this test?" When she finds out that he had done this testing secretly, she angrily grabs him by his collar and says if anything had happened to him because of this testing. Kanju does not give him the research documents and starts leaving from there. Then the doctor says Ligon has already been discharged, so what will you do now? Kanju throws the keyring with the Eiffel Tower in the dustbin and goes away. In the next scene, we see Cyan. A parcel comes for her, and it contains her bracelet, which makes her very happy. Then we are shown the scene of the reunion day. Cyan is at the reunion party. Seeing Listen, Cyan asks him to stop, but Listen gets very scared and starts running away from there and sits in his car. Cyan reaches there and gets into the car. She sits and says angrily, "You are dumping me." Then she kisses Listen. At the reunion, Ligon sees them both kissing, which means Cyan is Listen's first love. Ligon is taking out some stuff from his car when he finds the invitation card for the reunion. He says, "I had an accident on this day. Did I go to the reunion?" He tries hard to remember that day. Cyan slapped Listen after kissing him. Listen was shocked to hear her words and said, "Will you break up with me? I'll break up with you." We come to know that Cyan is looking for someone. Ligon is watching the rain while drinking wine at his house when someone rings his door. Ligon opens the door and finds Kyung outside, and she is wet. Ligon asks her to come inside and asks her why she has come here. Kanji says, "You said that I am from your agency. I am the team doctor, so I accept this work, and from today onwards I am going to stay with you. So tell me, where's my room?" Ligon gets quite shocked after hearing her words, and here episode 9 ends. So guys, this episode is for you. How did you like it? Do tell me through comments. If you liked my explanation, then like this video and subscribe to the channel to watch further episodes. I will meet you in next video. Take care, bye-bye.